All right, we are discussing kitchen safety and sanitation today in this video. As I go along, I will say pause to either write down, have class discussions, whatever might be the case. So, the first thing you're going to need to do is get out a piece of paper and a pencil. And then I want you at the top of your paper to define safety. And then under that, you're going to name 2 or 3 common kitchen accidents. Please hit pause. All right. So today's objectives. You will learn why it is important to work in a clean and safe kitchen. Know how to prevent foodborne illnesses, recognize and identify potential safety problems found in the kitchen, use good safety and sanitation practices. All right, your orientation for the day. Every day we assume that food we eat is safe. However, unless everyone who has handled the food has used good sanitation practices, this may not be the case. Sanitation is the process of handling foods in ways that are clean and healthy. No one likes a cut finger on a knife to get burnt or slip and fall. Most of us, however, have had one or more of these accidents. Safety in the kitchen means using precautionary methods in the kitchen to prevent accidents. Most accidents in the kitchen are due to carelessness. So if you wrote carelessness down as one of a common kitchen accident, you're right. And then safety, your definition is right there. So pause this and compare where my guesses similar, close to, or way off. All right, we are going to review. So we have ways to prevent burns and fires. Always use dry pot holders when handling hot items. If they are damp or wet of any kind, the heat will transfer directly from the pot to your hand. Do not leave pot holders near a hot burner. That is a fire hazard. They can catch on fire. Turn handles of pans so they do not stick out over the edge of the range or over the other burners. Then they will get hot. You can also bump them. The pan of boiling water could spin. Children can go up and be curious and grab the handle and pull it down on them. So we want to make sure that those are turned out and away. Always lift lids of saucepans away from your face so the steam will not burn you. Do not reach across hot burners or a lit gas burner. Keep a fire extinguisher in or near the kitchen and know how to use it. Here at school, I'm the one who knows how to use the fire extinguisher or a trusted adult. It is in our kitchen labs. If you have a grease fire, immediately put the lid on the pan. Okay? The source, what fuels fire, is oxygen. So we want to take the oxygen away by smothering it. Okay, if that does not work, smother the fire with salt, baking soda, sand, or a fire extinguisher. I don't know many people that have sand in their kitchens, but if you happen to know where those are, then that works. When you have finished cooking, make sure all oven and range buttons or dials are turned off. How to avoid falls. Wipe up spills immediately. Pick up toys and other objects from the middle of the floor or from any traffic areas. Use a sturdy step stool or ladder. Do not climb on top of the countertops. Be sure all floor mats have rugs have non-skid backs, and then keep pets out of your kitchen while you're cooking. I do have a story. I will make it short and sweet, but I was making spaghetti and my sister-in-law had her dog over, and she is a little dog, and anytime she hears food or like crunching of a bag, the dog likes to come into the kitchen. And we were making spaghetti for dinner, so I was taking the boiling water of noodles to the sink, from the stove to the sink, and the dog got under my feet and I did not know it. I stepped on the dog, I fell, I got really hurt and burned by the boiling water. So that is my lesson that I learned the hard way. to keep pets out of the kitchen. How to prevent cuts. Always pick up a knife by its handle, never its blade. If you're going to pass a knife to somebody else, you set it on the countertop and let them pick it up. Always slice, chop, cut, or dice foods on a cutting board, not a countertop. Wash sharp knives separately. Don't drop them into your soapy dishwater. Then you won't be able to see them if you stick your hands into the dishwater, and you could potentially grab the blade of the knife instead of the handle. Always cut food with the blade of the knife down and slanting away from you, never towards you. Never put your fingers near moving parts of an electric mixer, food processor, blender, or garbage disposal. I would hope that that is common sense. However, you might be looking at the electric mixer and say, those don't have blades, but those can still mangle and mash your fingers pretty well. Be careful when you discard broken glass. Do not pick up pieces with your hands. Sweep the larger pieces into a dustpan, and then you come back and pick up the little shards with a damp paper towel. All right, so now for sanitation. How much do you already know about sanitation? Excuse me. Let's try that again. How much do you already know about staying sanitary in the kitchen? Let's test your knowledge. We're going to read the school dance disaster on the next slide. Every time you come to an underlined phrase, you will need to make a decision as a class. So you will have to pause this video. Is this sanitary or unsanitary? Okay, once you have decided, we will click on. Here we go. Justin, a 12-year-old middle school student, volunteered to help prepare food for the big 8th grade dance. He had just moved into the area but had never had a food class before. All the guys in his neighborhood were busy cooking because they learned so much from their foods teacher in school, and Justin wanted to prepare them. He wanted to be part of the fun. Excuse me. The first item to prepare was egg salad sandwich. As Justin put the eggs in water to boil, he filled the pot a little too full, and it spilled by the time all the eggs were put in it. He grabbed the towel he used for drying dishes and immediately wiped up the spill on the floor. Pause. No, you never want to use a dish towel to wipe up the floor. Okay, what if Justin forgets to put that dish towel immediately in the laundry? Then he uses that to dry off clean dishes. While the eggs were cooling, Justin began the chicken salad. The chicken had thawed on the counter since last night. Pause to discuss. No, allowing meat to thaw on a counter allows bacteria to grow and multiply in your food, making you sick. A better and more sanitary solution would be to thaw meat, fish, and poultry in the refrigerator. Remember to keep hot foods hot and cold foods cold. I oftentimes have a lot of questions about this one. Well, why can't I thaw it in warm water or water? The second safest option to thawing meat is to put it in cold water, okay, in the sink, and then rotating that cold water every 30 minutes, but not doing it for more than 2 hours, okay? The best way to thaw meat is in the refrigerator, though. All right. He thought it smelled odd, but decided to use it anyway. Since he didn't have time to wait for more chicken to thaw, the boiling water would certainly kill any germ. Pause. No. Okay. Although boiling water might indeed kill germs, no amount of boiling water can return spoiled food from a bad condition to a safe one. Okay. When in doubt, throw it out. Justin was dressed in a long baggy shirt. As he tried to fix his sleeves one more time, his cat, G-Unit, jumped onto the counter looking for attention. The family adores G-Unit and always lets him sit wherever he wants. Pause. The answer is no. Keep pets off the counters. They can spread germs, even your adored pet. Justin went back to cooking while G-Unit kept his eye on the chicken salad. I cannot talk today. Finally, he finished and packed it into a box sitting on the table along with some sandwiches, which were already packed. The last item to be made was the fruit salad. Justin grabbed some cans of peaches, fruit cocktail, and pineapple chunks. One can was dented, but Justin thought it was fine. Pause. No, salmonella can grow in cans that are dented or bulged. Never use foods from dented cans. The can wasn't leaking, so it must be okay to use. He added the other fresh fruit and stirred it with a wooden spoon. It looked so good, he just had to taste it. And then he licked the wooden spoon. Justin thought he should add some cinnamon, so sprinkled it onto the salad and stirred it again with the same wooden spoon. Pause. No, Justin's mouth can be home to millions of bacteria. Never lick a spoon or taste from a spoon that you put back into the food. If you want to taste something, grab a new spoon, taste it, put that spoon that you tasted from into the wash. Okay, let's see. Now the food was ready and it was time to change clothes and get his mother to take him to the dance. At the dance, Justin was happy to see all the food prepared disappear quickly. Everyone had a great time, but as people started leaving, they were getting stomach cramps. All right, so we are going to discuss more ways to fight bacteria. So, clean, wash your hands and surfaces often, especially now that we have COVID, guys. This is 10 times, millions times important. Always wash your surfaces before you cook. Always wash your hands when you cook. Even if you scratch your face, go back and wash your hands. The proper way to wash your hands is with hot, soapy water for at least 20 seconds, which is also the ABC song or the happy birthday song. Separate. Do not cross-contaminate. That means you need to keep your raw vegetables and your raw meat separate. You don't want to touch raw meat, then touch your faucet, okay? You want to keep the tracing of any raw meats or vegetables or things separate. Cook to proper temperatures, and then chill or refrigerate promptly so bacteria cannot grow. Basic rules of the kitchen. Sanitation include practicing good personal hygiene, so making sure your hair is up before you cook and then wash your hands. Keeping the kitchen sanitary and preparing and storing food properly. By following these guidelines you have just learned, you can feel more confident that the food prepared in your kitchen is safe to eat. Safety is an important part of everyday lives. By taking the necessary precautions, you can reduce or eliminate burns, falls, cuts, electric shocks, poisonings in your kitchen. Put safety first. Guys, this is very important, especially here at school. What you do at home may be different than what we do here at school. Here at school, we are doing best practices. All right, here is your think about your kitchen at home assignment. After I'm done talking about this, you can go back to this portion. So how well do you follow safety procedures? Okay, in your mind, conduct a safety first hunt in your own kitchens. Okay, so you're just going to think about it. Then make 2 lists. List 1, the safety procedures you regularly follow in your home kitchen. List 2, the safety procedures you need to practice more regularly in your home kitchen. Using these 2 lists, write a letter to your family about kitchen safety. Compliment and thank everyone for following the safety procedures from your list first. Then tell everyone what procedures your family needs to improve on and convince them to try a new method. You may fill this out in a doc and turn it into Google Classroom. Make sure it is at least you have your 2 lists and then 1 paragraph. And a paragraph is 5 sentences. Then you will watch this video. On the back side of the paper that we took notes this morning, you are going to write down all the things you see this chef do wrong. This video will also be linked in Google Classroom, and if you have a sub this day, the sub will also have this link. Have a great day.